Right, hi there, boys and girls. This week we're going to be doing a few spelling lessons, and they're going to be quite practical. I know it's quite difficult to do spelling lessons when I'm not actually there with you, but anyway, the first lesson for today, which we're going to do, we'll be looking at words which have all got the shun sound at the end of the word. Now, there's a number of different ways. The problem with the spelling of these words is there's a few different ways of making that shun sound. So you can make it with cian, with sion, and with tion. So I'll give you an example of each, and then what I want you to do is to go and find some of your own. So musician is the most obvious example of a shun word where it ends cian. Okay, so that's one example. The sion is an example of sion is something like occasion. So OCCASION. So you've got occasion, that's an example of the middle one. And then the final one where it's TION, one example of that is position. Position. Okay, so right now, what I want, so those are the three different examples. What I want you to do is to go away and look in any books that you've got at home. It could be your home reader, it could be any other books, to be honest, but also look for examples that you might see on the internet. Look for examples that you might see in a newspaper, a magazine, on the packet of cornflakes, or anything like that, really. Anywhere. The only thing is it must make the shun sound, and that shun sound must be at the end of the word. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is to collect a few, and what I want you to do is to collect a few in each column. Okay, like that. That's all you have to do for the moment. So this process is called collect and classify. And all you're doing, really, you don't have to do anything with those words, but all you're doing is you are looking at the kinds of words that end in cian, and then the kinds of words that end in sion, and then the kinds of words that end in tion. And just to get you on your way, an example is the sorts of words that end in cian. Usually these are nouns. Okay, so a musician is a person who plays music. So usually they are nouns, and usually they are nouns which end in the letter C, or rather the base word ends in the letter C. So music. Okay, so someone who plays music is a musician. Okay, someone who, or here's another example, someone who does magic, magic ends in a C, someone who does magic is a magician. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a kind of a rule, you're trying to see the connection between what the word is and how it's spelt. And if you can find that connection, then when you come across a new word, then it will be quite easy for you to work out how it's spelt. Okay, so if you'd like to pause the video at any time now, go and find a few words and then just see if you can find out the rules. Okay, pause now. Okay, the next part of the lesson is the shared writing part of the lesson, and what we're going to do is we're going to make up a sentence or two, but we're going to use the words that we've been looking at. So, for example, we've just been talking about the musician or the magician. So let's make up a sentence. Let's use the word magician. So, the magician. Okay, so what was the magician doing? Well, the magician, she was, or he was, the magician was the stage. Okay, that's good. Let's think of another word that ends in shun. Now on my list I can see possession. Sorry, not possession, position. So the magician was on the stage. Let's say he was in the wrong position to do the trick, but he was in the wrong, oops, put a full stop there, which was in the wrong position, but he was in the wrong position. Okay, so that's the last part of today's lesson then, shared writing, where you use one or two of the words in a sentence, just to prove that you've got the right spelling and you understand how the word is used. Write down 2, maybe 3 sentences. Once you've written them down, send them to me in the usual way. Use Ask Mr. Smales, use emails, or use Class Dojo. Okay, good luck with that. See you in tomorrow's lesson. Bye bye.